Mic check 1 2.
Loud.
Let's go back here. Check 1 2 1 2. Bit louder. Turn it down for 1 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Not too loud. Testing 1 2. Channel 1. Commentator. Testing 1 2 1 2.
now available for purchase at the ticket gate, and a limited quantity of our 2024 merchandise is also available at discounted prices from Club of Marconi Reception. Join us in making a difference. Club Marconi and Beans are hosting a community car sleep out on Friday, June 13 to support those experiencing homelessness in our community. Scan the QR code around the stadium or visit our website to donate or sign up. Every contribution counts. The Football New South Wales Men's National Premier League competition is proudly sponsored by Minor, official match ball of the New South Wales NPL. Attendees are reminded they are bound by the Football Australia Spectator Code of Behaviour together with the terms and conditions of this venue. Any breaches may result in disciplinary action and sanctions.
Hello and welcome to the Marconi Stadium. Apologies for the delay in the start of commentary here. A few issues on the side, but we're going to get straight into the action here. 14 minutes gone. Marconi Stallions hosting the Western Sydney Wanderers. Good crowd building here in Sydney Southwest. Two sides here on polar opposite sides of the table, really. Marconi unbeaten to start this season after a good win last week. Quick ball into the middle. Jezic is open at the back stick. Good header away, but not out of danger completely now. Costanza at the back. Now Bayless playing around with it a bit. Costanza gets it into Jezic. Header at the front stick, just goes wide. But yeah, a bit of a Western Sydney derby here, if you will. It's two of the biggest sides in the Harbour City in terms of club name, recognition, history, obviously. At the Palace here at the Marconi Stadium. Give you a brief check-in on the lineups, albeit delayed, but we can start with the hosts, the Marconi Stallions. They are unchanged from the 2-1 victory last week. They're up the road in Denzer Park against Sydney United. Lucky for Peter Sekenis, he's kept his side pretty injury-free, only one change to the bench, and that is Kyle Cementi, who drops out after popping his shoulder out last week in that 2-1 win. But their starting lineup is as follows. Number 1, James Hilton. Number 2, Tyrone Burney. Number 4, Anton Milanic. Number 5, the goal scorer from last week, Lachlan Griffiths. Number 6, Dom Costanza. Number 8, James Bayless. Number 10, the captain, Marko Jezic. Number 14, Jake True. Number 17, Damien Sekenis. Number 18, George Daniel. And number 23, rounding out the starting lineup for the Marconi Stallions, it's Brandon Vella. And on the bench, as we mentioned, just one change to that. As Costanza, good break down the left. He's got options in the middle if he wants it. Goes to True. Sends his shot over the bar. The Stallions fire another shot across the bows. On the bench for the hosts, number 3, Cameron Windus. Number 11, Miloslav Popovic. Number 12, coming up from the 20s last week, Julian Monge. Number 16, Liam Yuli. Number 20, Patrick Williams. And the man who scored the winning goal last week off the bench, number 24, Matej Bušek. Great goal he scored last week, that one. And now the Wanderers with a chance to break on their own. A bit outnumbered defensively in that absolutely rock-solid Marconi Stallions backline. Haven't let much get past them this season. Just 5 goals conceded across the first 7 games, that being, and no more than 1 goal conceded in any single match for Marconi. Tied 3rd best defensive record in the league with just 5 goals conceded. 2 other sides boasting that accolade as well. The Northwest Sydney Spirit, table leading Spirit, and Manly United as well, with 5 goals against their name to start this 2025 NPL New South Wales men's campaign. As a long throw in the middle. Plenty of goal scoring options there for the Wanderers, and their attack just coming to a brief end there, but they've got to be careful with this Marconi side on the counter attack. So many attacking weapons they possess. Down the left now with Nkomo. Scored his side's only goal last week in that 6-1 thrashing to RPL Leichhardt. And the skipper there, Nathan Barry, who took the armband in a good way against Jesse Cameron, who started last week and was the captain. Marconi again just threatening plenty of space to move in the middle. Costanza goes long, looking for a ball back in the middle. Good deflection in the end there, and it's going to be a corner for the Marconi Stallions. Say plenty of talent across the park for the Marconi Stallions, but this Western Sydney Wanderers side has produced so many first grade quality A-League players over the last season or two in their stint at the top flight here of NPL. Direct ball in straight at Vidakovic, but taken comfortably, the young keeper. Plays years above his age in terms of maturity and class. One to watch in this Western Sydney side. The pitch has held up pretty well considering all the rain that we've had over the last 24 hours. There was a bit of concern that it wouldn't do so. Obviously Marconi not able to train here throughout the week which I think possibly could put them off not being able to train on a grass field and playing on a grass field. The 20s game prior being played on the back synthetic field, that option wasn't available for the first grade team, but the club, I think both clubs are very keen to get this game going. You know, as the season starts to progress in the later stages, can get very congested with those midweek fixtures, and they didn't want another one here. Bernie now, crossing the middle, open shots, just over the bar. Did well to get ahead of a couple defenders there. Looks like it took a deflection on the way as well. Walking back with his head down a bit, but can't be too disappointed with that. Damien Sekenis, just shy of the 6-yard box. Probably would have found the back of the net if not for that deflection. Corner now on the right touchline. Again, another direct approach. Vidakovic happy to let that one go, but a foul at the back stick. It's like a bit of arguing there, possibly from Sekenis, who was deemed to have fouled Nkomo. And the Wanderers get the ball back, but under pressure straight away, and Vidakovic forced to go long to Luau. Trapped with a couple blue shirts near him. It's a bit of short one-touch possession here from the Wanderers, and Saxon Hillier leading the charge in the middle of the park, and that pass goes astray, and the Stallions will regain possession. Of course, plenty of action in the rest of this round. Across Sydney. First game is postponed, that one at Belmore Oval, Sydney Olympic and Central Coast Mariners, so that'll be played at a later date, probably a midweek one for both sides there. And for Sydney Spirit drawing to Sutherland 1-1, so Spirit will remain at top at the end of the round, but depending on what Marconi do here, they could really put some serious pressure on the early flyers of this league, the Spirit. And one more game with a simultaneous kickoff. 13th minute in that one at St. George, with St. George City playing host to the St. George Saints, and it is the visitors, the Saints, that have got an early 1-0 lead. Bit of a fierce derby that one can be, so be sure to tune into that one at halftime here and at the conclusion of this one here at the Palace. Marconi not being too wasteful with their possession so far. Seeing that's a bit of a theme of their season. Dominating possession and just taking their time in attack. Good chances, not just going from everywhere. And although their attack, you wouldn't say it's been stagnated, it's been a bit slower than last season. Still fine in the back of the net, still getting results, so no real complaints from their behalf, you'd suggest, and they're winning games convincingly. There's another chance here, looking to cut back. It's True winning it back there, and a fierce battle on the furthest touchline there with Lachlan Tilt, but it goes the way of the Stallions. It's George Daniel in a very advanced position, but a ball into the middle comes off the chest of Vidakovic. Forced to clear it there was the skipper Barry. Apologies with Ricky Franson there. Stalwart of this Wanderers team over the last season or so, but tough pickings for the Wanderers in recent times, and this season especially. Just one win from the first 7 games. There's a long ball there, one bouncing out, and a goal kick for the Wanderers, who, as we mentioned, struggling a bit. One win in their last 20 games across this season and last. Started off last season absolutely flying, and then just hit a bit of a mid-season wall, picking up a few draws here or there, and then just struggled to find points and goals at the end of the season, despite playing a really attractive style of football. Fast as, you know, the elements that a young team would possess. Scoring goals for fun at the start of the season, and then, as you mentioned, just really struggling. 17 losses in the last 20 games. Just 2 draws and 1 win, and 1 win coming against Sydney Olympic. Just the Wanderers will be in for a fight for survival. Good win back there by Hillier, and trying to ignite something, trying to catch the Stallions off guard. But Bernie, first to it, goes for the long clearance and finds the foot of his opponent. Gets a throw in the process. And for the quick 1-2 there was Sekenis with Yazic, but although it didn't go his way, they'll get the ball back. Griffiths now at the back to Milanic. George Daniel. Costanzo. Looks for the overlap of Daniel, lost his footing a little bit, but retains it, cuts in, gets past one, goes across the middle. Deflected, and first to it's Hillier. Winning it back again, getting past Costanzo, and Costanzo fouls Hillier. Free kick taken quickly, but probably about 5 metres ahead of where the foul was conceded. Credit where credit's due. I don't mind a little bit of an advantage where you can get it, but referee in the centre there not having a bar of it. Telling the Wanderers to go back to essentially the 18-yard box. That free kick was almost taken from halfway. Vidakovic sends his troops up the field. I think as well, airily, this defensive setup of Marconi's been pretty good at dealing with the aerial threats so far, with Luau the only real big threat up there in terms of a heading presence. Also good to see that Marconi still have the ball boys hanging around. It's a bit of a dying art in modern football, you'd say. After COVID, it seemed like the ball boys' job had gone extinct, but it's good to see Marconi, one of the few clubs around, probably in the world, that still employs the ball boys. But back to the action here. True, finding some space out right. Cutting on to the left. Bayless first time ball over the top. Return to sender now with True. Get past Nkomo and look to have won his side a corner, but it's going to be ruled a goal kick. The Wanderers defence applaud themselves there, and rightfully so, stopping a strong attack there. Wanderers have opted to go for that short goal kick routine so far, and just about every goal kick we've seen. And Marconi, obviously a wise, experienced side, picking up on that and putting plenty of pressure on that back three setup, with Vidakovic involved in that, and cost them a few mistakes. Speaking of, they've made one there. Good chance to get a ball through to Luau. Can't get to it. Daniel's back, but falls back their way, and chance born begging there. Abdul Rahman was wide open in the middle. Good stop in the end there by Milanic. Khan Nizam made that darting run down the right, and that heavy touch just a little bit too much as Hillier sends it forward. Straight to the head there at the centre half, but Ranson sends it back into a great position. Cop now. See a bit more of that trademark Marconi possession, and as you say that, the commentator's curse always strikes. Throw in for the Wanderers. Almost throw back to Barry. Adelado, one of the 5 different goal scorers for the Wanderers this season, only managed to find the back of the net 5 times so far. Disappointing record in terms of goals scored. Goals against, 17 conceded for the 5 that they've scored. record. Just struggling a little bit to start the season, Western Sydney, but we know what they're capable of, and imagine if they could pull the scalp of the reigning NPL New South Wales men's champions, the grand final winners from last season. Cranston gets it out of danger. A little bit too hard, possibly. Good save in the end there by Barry. Vidakovic, how about that? Nerves of steel. Jake True, with everything he had, was pacing at him, and a second later, that's probably in the back of the net, but Vidakovic just cuts in and could be setting something up for the Western Sydney Wanderers here. Cop. And for the early ball, seen Khan Nizam out in a bit of space. Back on the ball now, the number 27. Ilya. Nizam looked for the 1-2, but straight to Milanic. Early ball there, intercepted by Tilt. Strong challenge there by Jezic. Referee let it play for a little bit, was looking for the advantage, and another free kick taken quickly by the Wanderers. Will this one work out for them? Nizam. Luau. Nice one-touch football here again from the Wanderers. Nkomu tries to feed it to Luau, who looked to turn. Plenty of appeals for a foul there by the Marconi Stallions. Bit of theme of their game last week as well. Had plenty calls dismissed, and in such a high tense, emotional game as that one is, a derby between those two sides. Lucky it didn't boil over, but Marconi kept their heads and got the result. Nkomu, long ball in, Nizam's header, didn't get the power on it, and a pretty easy save in the end there by James Hilton. Just under 15 minutes to go here, and the Wanderers showing plenty of signs of life. Something that these, not only the Wanderers, but plenty of academy sides in this competition are capable of. As Sekenis gets put through on goal, looks to go to his left and went on to the right. Just slipped up at the last moment. Damien Sekenis. Not the worst idea in hindsight. Try to curl it into the top corner when you'd expect Vidakovic to go across the face of goal, but he just thought about it a little bit too much. He was really favouring that left foot, and you can't blame him. He gets a bit of power and accuracy on that shot. That's probably in the back of the net, but a foul conceded by Awan Luau. Possession back with Marconi Stallions. Moments after almost scoring. If you look a bit into the history of this clash as well, Marconi Stallions against the Western Sydney Wanderers, 5 games with no losses, and first to score in 4 of the 5 matches. The Western Sydney Wanderers with their 5 losses this year, 4 of the 5 losses this year have gone into the breakdown. So it'll be interesting to see how both sides would react if the scoreline was to stay this way at the conclusion of the first 45 minutes. Aylis now playing a bit of coverage for the advanced run midfield here, which is pushing plenty of numbers forward. Bernie try to find Costanzo at the back stick, and nothing avails. A goal kick for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Be interesting to see if they go for that little set piece tactic that they've been going with all night. Again, sending his troops forward, launching that one over the halfway line, and Abdul Rahman beaten to that header by Griffiths. Great bit of skill there by True to keep possession of the ball, but absolutely sliced his pass across the face of the halfway line. Luau tries to get through to Abdul Rahman, pushed off by Bernie, calls for a foul, waved off pretty quickly. And just calmly playing it back Now through Vela. Griffiths scored a wonderful header last week. First goal of the game. Lachlan Griffiths, and first goal of the season. Became the 6th different goal scorer for the Stallions this year. Costanzo. Nice bit of skill to flick that over to Daniel. Across the face, a goal again. Vidakovic first to it. He's been big so far for the Wanderers. Number 1. Had a barrage of attacks and shots thrown at him, and he's proven he's up to the test so far. The young keeper. It's Barry under plenty of pressure by Sekenis, who fouled him, who's pleading that he was just putting pressure on the skipper. He did have him under plenty of pressure. Sure if the mics picked up on that one, but I believe it was Brandon Vela issued a very, very stern warning there by the referee. I don't think I can repeat what was said there, but I think we'll have to keep his conversations very limited with our officials tonight, otherwise risk not only yellow, being sent off was the word that we heard from up here at the beautiful grandstand, the Marconi Stadium. Bird's eye view of the pitch. Jake True now into the battlefield of the middle. Good ball to find Costanzo. Overlapping run, George Daniel. First time ball to Bayless. Wasn't the best option, but they'll win it back here. Marconi. Daniel. True in the middle. Lined up for Sekenis. Praised his body for the crouch down header. Cleared by Franson. Attack's not over yet though. Tyron Burney. The edge is True. Great ball to Vela. Falls at the edge of the box. Costanzo. Great flick onto Daniel. What a great set play and attack there by the Marconi Stallions, and just showing off his bag of skills there, Dom Costanzo. Probably couldn't have shot from the angle that he had it on, but how he got that ball through to Daniel. And looked like it was on target to begin with. Did fall pretty wide of the target, and that's why you see the Marconi players appealing for a corner there. To look back at the replay to get final confirmation of that, but Western Sydney push on. Abdul Rahman tries to turn Griffiths. It was Milanic that it came off. Como looking to push the pace. And that pass back from Abdul Rahman, a little bit of miscommunication there, you'd suggest. Sekenis. Trying to do a bit of hold-up play there for Yazic. Does well to get past Barry. In the middle, Costanzo was onto it. But Tilt, first to it. Deflected away. True. And again, Yazic almost first to it. Him and Francis battling. Franson battling one-on-one for that, and more appeals for a corner there. That was a real close call. Both eyes pretty close to it, the referee and the linesman on the right side here. Goal kick for the visitors. Darkovic, good ball to find Luau. And a foul given the way of the Wanderers. They haven't opted too much to go the direct approach from these free kicks. Looking to take free kicks and throw-ins pretty quickly as appeals for a handball waved off by Abdul Rahman. Luau now, Battleado. Dinks one over to Nkomo, but Bernie first to it. Showing how much energy and passion he's got for getting back in defence whilst going forward. Good flick forward by Sekenis now. Got the better of Barry once, but can't get the better of him there. True, great ball. Bernie, chance here for Marconi. Across the face again, Vela. Wrong part of his foot. That was perfectly set up by the Stallions, and they keep knocking on the door. Milanic taken down as he bursts forward and digging into the pockets. Going to be a card there. Luau, the offender. Quickly, but nothing comes to it again, and Marconi taking a page out of Western Sydney's book there with the quick set piece. Western Sydney players still pleading their case for that foul and yellow card on Luau as Nkomo gets one on True, but one back by Griffiths. 1-2 from Costanzo and Jezic. Doesn't come through, and Marconi will get the ball back. Griffiths and Milanic both showing their hand, wanting to get forward a little bit more. See, Griffiths, as we mentioned, scored a goal last week. Daniel in the middle, Franson, good touch. Keeps it out for a corner, but straight back into the path for Costanzo, who sends it right back to Daniel. Rinse and repeat for Marconi. It's been working so far. Why not keep doing the same? Costanzo goes for it. Looked like a cross to start with, but a bit of venom behind that one. Force Vidakovic into a save, and a win back in a dangerous area now. Sekenis looking for the 1-2 with True. True did well to shield off the first barrage of attackers, but couldn't get the second one there. Failed outside the boot, almost Travella style through ball to Luau there from Kopp. Didn't come out that time, but good to see them showing a bit of innovation on the attack, trying to mix it up a little bit, catch this rock solid defense off guard possibly. 0-0 as it stands with a couple minutes to go of regulation. Good ball by Griffiths, pick out Bernie. Even better ball to Jezic. The flick comes perfectly through to the captain, and Franson again as cool as you like. First time clearance. Out of danger for the time being. Costanzo. Giving Daniel an invitation to go forward. And it's deflected off Daniel, that one. Pass in. It looked like Vela. Wins it back though. Vela. Heavy touch, and Franson beats him to it. Slight little push and shove there between the two, but Wonder is on the attack, and Como through to Luau. Pretty clear offside there. Showing a bit of threat and attack both ways. This game has completely opened up. So it was Vela and Franson. Vela was almost looking for a quick ball over the top to Jezic. Couldn't get it done, and Franson beat him to it, and push and shove, if you could say, on the ground between the two, but Wanderers are on the attack, advantage played, and just throwing another shot across the bows. Hamilton's goal kick did fall pretty perfectly there for Sekenis, who almost got it past Barry. This slippery surface just proving a little bit tricky for both sides in the opening half here. Costanzo, good ball in the middle. True was lining that one up, and more pleas for a foul in the box again, and Como looks a little bit ginger after that. Costanzo, ball in again, and it almost fell perfectly for Sekenis, but Ricky Franzen has been sensational tonight, clearing those aerial threats and all those crosses that the Wanderers have put at him. Kudos to the entire Wanderers backline. And Como looks to be a little bit worse for wear. Physio called onto the field, and that could possibly be the last big moment of the first half, as True called up for that one and given a yellow card. Just 1 minute of at a time. Likely not to see any more play after this. Pretty thrilling first half, considering that there's been no goal scored either side. Both sides have had their chances. Defence is out on top in the opening stages here. Sets us up for a really thrilling final 45 minutes of action. Western Sydney Wanderers looking for their first win in 5 games. And Marconi looking to extend their unbeaten run to 11 games. And their undefeated start to the season intact. Vidakovic's ball out on the full. Still a little bit to play here at the Marconi Stadium. First touch football again here. Barry got to the ball and cleaned up a bit of Jezic as well. Luau, great turn to get past a couple Marconi defenders, and a last-ditch lunge by Milanic probably saved his side from Abdul Rahman being through on goal. And Costanzo now in the dying stages of the first half. Ball into the middle, Franson first to it again. Double clearance by the Wanderers centre-back. Griffiths trying to keep his side's momentum. Gives away a foul in the process. Franson's restart from that free kick will be the final play of the first half. So 0-0 here at the Marconi Stadium between the Marconi Stallions and the Western Sydney Wanderers. Join us back here in about 15 minutes for the second half. It should be an eventful final 45 minutes of action in this Western Sydney derby.
other side with Miss Sun is like that. You keep the ball on feet, go straight 1v1 against the left back. And the left, when very, very good with the ball. So when he carries the ball, reaching instead of drop to help him, go forward to receive on the space behind the right back, like we already said. Yeah. Instead on feet, take behind. Because Chop is coming, dragging the guy, yeah, on the right. And without the ball, sometimes one of our six is going forward to against when they are built in the build-up. One of our six is going up to press, and we are not pressing. So we are opening the wide sides without pressing. So or we keep the 4-4-2, or we do the diamond and press. Have to press. Right?
every Friday night for about 10 years. And I was, from when I was about 18 till about 27.
I think we all went through that phase.
Yeah. I only lived on Quarry Road,
Oh, yeah.
near Rosa. In this local stumbling distance. We get a lift here and stumble back.
Yeah. How good is that, eh? Yeah.
Everyone knows we're talking about, they're the dancers.
Yeah.
You know.
Never seen them play in their life.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Marconi Stadium. Second half of action just about to get underway here at the Palace in Sydney Southwest. Plenty of anticipation for this final 45 minutes. The wind has picked up quite a bit here. You could see that playing its part in the final stages of the first half, but both sides throwing caution to the wind, no pun intended, in attack. Searching for the goal that could break open this game. Second half underway. Marconi opting for the old school two-player kickoff. Haven't seen that in a while. Good to see that. Hopefully that makes a comeback. Right back where they started, the Stallions, just playing it around their back and picking their chances to go forward when they can, and they've been pretty good at winning possession back in the middle of the park as well. Doesn't go their way this time, but Luau forward with Battleado now. Cop tries to flick it back in the middle, but unsuccessful this time. It's a pretty strong first half showing from the Wanderers. They're under plenty of duress defensively, but picked their chances and definitely had a goal or two at taking the lead, as did the Stallions. It's a good little jostle here in the middle for possession, and a free kick again. The way of the Western Sydney Wanderers, Marko Jezic looks bewildered as to how that wasn't given to him, but plenty of debate still in the middle there. And one back just as quickly by the Stallions. Pushing the tempo, Bayless. Costanzo almost gets to it, but first to it, Lachlan Tilt. Daniel and Costanzo have been causing this Wanderers defense plenty of headaches on the left. Daniel goes early, straight down the throat of Vidakovic. Ball lobbed forward early there by Tilt, but straight back into the possession of Marconi. Bayless again, he's had plenty to say in this game so far. Back now, Milanic. That part of the field been hotly contested so far, but Marconi win this battle this time. Looping ball over to Costanzo. His touch wasn't the best, and he's punished for it. Tilt's clearance deflected straight into the path of him, and they'll regain possession of the Wanderers. Wonder if this scoreline stays the way it is for even, say, 10 more minutes, if both coaches will look towards their benches, Richie Cardoso and Peter Sikanis. Wanderers with Darlo Sandy, Luka Knezovic, Anthony Barvich, Edmund Haddad, and Noah Peacock, Lucas Sinot making up that bench unit for them. As a free kick in a dangerous area for the Stallions. Be their first real chance of the second half here. Ball in, pretty good one. Jezic gets good connection on it. And look to aim towards that bottom corner. Couldn't get the power desired on it though. Costanzo wins it back, and now True with a chance to set something up. Hits his cross straight into Nkomu. Costanzo on the opposite wing now, linking up with his right winger. And the ball just floating towards his feet. It's like he's got magnets in his boot, Dom Costanzo, because the ball just follows him everywhere he goes. Just doesn't want to leave his side and his presence. Corner for the Stallions. Long looping ball in at the back stick. Thought they were going to go direct again. That's been their preferred option from the corner so far, to go straight at Vidakovic. Doesn't go their way this time, and Sikanis was forced to chase after that one, and the bounce is just a little bit too heavy. A goal kick for the Western Sydney Wanderers. See the Wanderers last week on the receiving end of a 6-1 battering at RPLI card, and it hasn't been easy going for them the last 2 weeks. They lost 4-0 the week before on the road to the Wollongong Wolves. And a close one with the Northwest Sydney Spirit, a 2-3 loss, before a 2-0 loss to Sydney United and a 1-0 loss to the Sutherland Sharks. Wrapping up their last 5 games of form as a free kick conceded deep into Marconi territory will go the way of the hosts. Whereas you look at it from the other side, Stallions 4 wins, 3 draws, 0 losses to start the season. As we mentioned earlier, that defence only conceded 5 goals so far, but 10 goals the other way, which puts them tied 6th in the goals against category across all 16 teams in the NPL New South Wales. So right around middle of the pack for the reigning champions of this comp so far. And the first to score in 9 of their last 10 games, and in that span they've remained unbeaten, so a bit of a trend with the Stallions. If they score first, they tend to go on to win it. Costanzo try to find Sikanis, but that win factor just really playing a part. Pushed on Costanzo's cross there, and out for another goal kick for the Wanderers. See the Wanderers A-League's men's side in action as well earlier this afternoon in New Zealand. They 2-2 draw with the Wellington Phoenix. A few of their former NPL New South Wales men's stars featured in that, in both the starting lineup and bench. Oscar Priestman, Pantazopoulos and Jared Carluccio, to name a couple there that had their impact on the game. Fella try to split the defence with Costanzo and Daniel either way, but it was looked like Tilt who won out on top. Daniel does well to stick his foot around Nazam, who had plenty to say in the first half, showing what he's got with his attacking skills. First time ball over the top there by Hillier, no good, and Bernie out of danger. Perfect pass and even better touch there by the skipper, Marko Jezic. Even better ball there over the top. True Looking to set something up for the Stallions, but another bit of great defensive work there by Nkomo. On the right side of the field. Not out of danger yet, this young Wanderers side. Vela. Across to Bernie. Has to do a lot to beat off the defensive pressure of Hillier. A good slide and challenge there by Griffiths. Sorry, Bayless. To win it back and see James Hilton pretty eager to get in on the action here. Pushing up as almost the third defender in that attacking formation, in that defensive line for Marconi. Bernie, bit of space to go forward now. Tyrone Bernie gets it onto his left, gives it to Sekenis. Good shoulder off there by Franson to hold off the striker for Marconi, Damien Sekenis. It's 10 minutes gone here in this second half, and it's been pretty back and forth. Marconi just looking to gain a bit of control in this game and reassert their dominance possession-wise. Costanzo thought he was going to go direct to the box, but found his fellow winger True in a bit of space. Good ball in from True, looping back to Costanzo. Return to sender. Costanzo in the middle. Falls to the edge for Vela, deflected back into his path. Good shot by Bernie. Just wide of the target in the end. He's been very involved in the attack so far, the right back. See Richie Cardozo looking over at his substitutes, warming up, possibly looking for an early substitution here in the second half. Of course, a lot of these academy sides with players on minute restrictions due to academy contracts and the like. Milanic, good header to get Marconi back in an attacking stance. Good heavy touch there by Hillier. Play on's the call for the time being. Khan Nizam now. Good ball around. Abdul Rahman almost first to it. Great bit of defensive pressure there by Bernie. Looks like referee in the center looking to be called up a little back and forth between Franson and Marko Jezic. Como takes the throw. Abdul Rahman sends it back to the man who restarted play. Barry. Franson. Luau. Sneaky flick on there. Battleado. Doesn't work out for him this time though. Long ball by True. Phenomenal chest down by Jezic. Chance for Marconi here. Costanzo. Low-driven shot. Vidakovic not forced to work too hard for that one, unfortunately. Maybe a little bit indecisive as to what corner he was going to go for there, Dom Costanzo, but a bit of a warning there for the Wanderers defense. Can't give him space like that, a man of his talent and quality. As Abdul Rahman caught offside for the free kick, and sigh of relief there for Marconi as they'll look to go straight back to where they started. Again, Costanzo. Ball in the middle and straight down the throat of Vidakovic again. Under pressure. They'll cough up possession, but only momentarily though. been under plenty of pressure in those situations, the Wanderers, and as Milanic is down on the ground in back play, the Wanderers will look to take advantage, but none. Khan Nizam offside. Milanic being out of position there, injured on the ground. He's been down for about a minute or so. It was calls for them to kick it out, but the Wanderers played on anyway and almost went through. Nizam just played his run a little bit too early there. Milanic receiving a bit of treatment on the side here, gives both sets of players a quick chance to have a breather, quick drink of water for the final half an hour of play. Quickly back around the ground, second half started with the St. George Saints 2-0 lead over St. George City. And tomorrow we've got 4 games for you. 3 games at the 3 o'clock afternoon kickoff slot. We've got RPL Leichhardt hosting Rockdale or Linden. That'll be an absolute banger. 2 high-flying sides as well. Blacktown City playing host to Manly United as the Wollongong Wolves in a slightly altered fixture. That game being moved to a synthetic pitch due to the rain. Hosting Sydney United at 3 o'clock. So a few of the top 6 sides doing battle. And then our final game at 4 o'clock sees Sydney FC host the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Hilton. Long ball up to Jezic, but first to it tilts. Luau slipping a bit, and that surface just having it say on the game again. I can just see it from here where Luau slipped. It's almost put a crater up in the field. Boggy and slippery it must be down there for the players. Costanzo now at the back stick, look to find Sekenis, and True was there in support if he needed it. Back in the middle, Bayless. True. Ball in the middle, but again, just couldn't get the curl on it, and Vidakovic first to it. He'd be close to, at the end of this game, if they were to keep a clean sheet or even not, be close to Wanderers best on the park tonight. Tristan Vidakovic, as he usually is, one of the best young goalkeepers this competition has seen in a long while. Big future ahead of him, the number 1. He's taken without the ball. Looked to be was Sekenis, but referee calling that one a foul. This looks like a double substitution being lined up for the Wanderers here. Just about everyone forward for Marconi, but alternatively, just about everyone back for the Wanderers. Costanzo, great ball in. Jezic gets a touch to it. He was offside in the end. But with his hands on his knees in disbelief, Marko Jezic, he doesn't normally miss chances like that, regardless of if he was offside or not. Beautiful ball by Costanzo. So double substitution here for the Wanderers. Khan Nizam off. On the other side as well, Saxon Hillier will make way. Sando Dali will take Nizam's spot on the right side of the attack. And it looks like Luka Knezovic, apologies, plays Saxon Hillier in the middle. Zadalo was one of the standout stars in attack for the Wanderers side at the back end of the season. Costanzo, another ball in the middle, and Vidakovic again first to it. Boy, has he been put under some pressure this game, and living up to the billing so far, this bright young keeper. Costanzo has just flooded him with balls straight into his path and forcing to protect his target. Vidakovic, ball cleared, but again just straight back into the grasp of Marconi. A few calls for a foul there, waved off again, advantage played, you like to see it. Marconi, another chance to attack. Bernie pushing the pace now. Now another attack stop there, strong tackle by Milanic, and he's looking to get involved in the attack now. He won the ball back, so he's got the right to go forward. That's the way I see it anyway. The unofficial laws of football. And a free kick for the Stallions, as they look to line up a double substitution of their own. Looks like Matej Bušek going to be one of the players introduced. Possibly the only one. Back on the attack, they're just constricting them to their own half. Bayless went for the spectacular at the edge of the box, and Wayward shot in the end. A double substitution coming up here for the Stallions. So Brandon Vella going to be making way, as will Jake True. So I believe that is almost the same substitution that they made last week. The double one, not at this time though. Just looking for a bit more spark in the middle and attack. Both players really good starts, but it's going to be Liam Yawley on the right side, replacing Jake True. And it's Liam Yawley, not Matej Bušek, in the middle of the park, and immediately just showing how much energy he had conserved there. Yuli. Abdul Rahman now for the Wanderers. Does well to get past Griffiths and will win his side a corner. Battleado, deep ball. Franson gets a head onto it, but pretty easily dealt with by Bayless. And there's the substitute. It is Bušek. Apologies for the confusion there. Mate, the call from Marko Jezic on the right. You could hear it from up here. He had a great run at it, and Bušek, can't blame him, just trying to keep possession, not looking to throw it away, even for a good chance like that. It's just not what Marconi have done tonight. Keeping possession and just denying the Wanderers any chance to keep a hold of the ball for long periods of time. That's what they want to do, and that's how they've been so successful, not only this season but over the last couple of years as well. So Jezic, Sekenis and Bušek, all with 2 goals to their name this season. Let's see if either one of them now in that front 3-4, if you will. Can add another one with Jezic playing, as his jersey would suggest, in the 10 role, but more of a shadow striker today, especially, as Barry pretty wasteful with that one there. Straight out for a throw for Marconi. Wow. Sending his side through, but he looks to have picked up a bit of an injury. Good chance here. Knezovic. Just couldn't get the shot off, but Luau goes to ground, and the Wanderers preemptively aiming up a substitution, and you got to wonder if that was premeditated or not. But Luau probably seeing his final moments of the game. Just under 20 minutes to go here. It looks to be a calf issue, possibly hamstring for Luau. It doesn't look too serious, however, but he will make way, Luau. So Edmund Haddad will take his place. Also got Noah Peacock on the bench as well, if they want another goal threat. Obviously last season's under-20s Golden Boot, Noah Peacock with the Northwest Sydney Spirit. Marconi looking to go right back on the attack, but headed away by Tilt. Bit of pinball in the middle, Jezic. Just reasserting control for his side there with possession. Yuli does well to get out of a mountain of Wanderers midfielders, it seemed. Good ball out wide now. It was the substitute in last week's game winner, Busek. Just fumbled his lines a little bit there, but a chance to redeem himself here. Early ball in. It's been lined up by Jezic, but just couldn't get to it in time. And the Wanderers' defence have been preempting just about all their crosses. They haven't had a real good chance at a go from these crosses so far in this game, the Stallions, and that's a big credit to the Wanderers' defence. Getting there first and just showing that desire and that defensive willingness to keep the Stallions out for as long as they can. They've only kept one clean sheet this season so far, and it wasn't that win against Sydney Olympic. Other than that, it's been a pretty disappointing start defensively for the Wanderers. Not in this game, however, showing plenty of flashes of brilliance. Long ball again, and Tilt first to it. Absolutely launches it forward, and Abdul Rahman was almost first to it. But Hilton will regather here. Milanic, long ball, try to find Costanzo, and the wind again. Strong wind gust playing its part. Free kick called. Sorry, a foul throw called for Marconi. Very, very rare this level to see a foul throw call. Caught me off guard. I just assumed it was a free kick, but can happen to the best of us, even the professionals. Griffiths try to find Jezic, and the clearance goes to Sekenis, who was taken out in the process of playing that ball through to Matej Busek. Free kick for Marconi. Bernie. Now Busek again. That's how he set up his goal last week. Bit of space. That's all he needs. Mate. On the ball again, the substitute, and a push in the back on Nkomo. A little bit of afters as well to be cleaned up by the referee. St. George City striking one back in the St. George derby, so the Saints lead City 2-1. Vidarkovic getting us back underway here, Marconi Stadium. 15 minutes to go. Neither side yet to crack the strong defensive lines that both sides are possessed. As Wanderers, another double substitution in the works possibly. Noah Peacock looks to be one of the two to be brought on. Griffiths finding Yuli now, and Busek. His touch was a little bit heavy, but a foul in the lead up. It looked to be Bernie. Will give the Stallions another chance to set something up here, and they've won plenty of fouls in the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, and really putting Western Sydney under pressure. They haven't had an attack in a little bit. Good ball forward. Jezic with a bit of time now. Out to Bernie. First time ball in front of two Wanderers defenders. It's deflected away, and they get in the way of each other there and gift Marconi a corner. Busek was open at the edge of the box and very quickly picked up there. Great ball in the middle. Griffiths header almost fell into the path of Milanic and just probably wasn't expecting it. Good clearance in the end there by Knezovic. Bernie darting forward and lost his balance a little bit, getting rid of that one, as did Ricky Franson there. Works well to recover it and save it from going out for a corner, and even better defensive work there from Nkomo. That was a certain Marconi throw-in, and did his best to deflect it off Busek to give his side the ball back. So double substitution here for the Wanderers, and Marconi lining one up themselves. Damien Sekenis making way. It's Miloslav Popovic who will take the reins up top. So Abdul Rahman makes way for Noah Peacock. So Haddad and Peacock, along with Darlow, the new front line for the Wanderers, as Peacock's first touch, unfortunately offside. Free kick taken very quickly by the Stallions. Costanzo. Yuli. Jezic. Try to pick out Costanzo, but tilt first to it again. Yuli goes for it. Deflected away and almost into the path of Costanzo, but out for a goal kick. Anthony Barbic as well. coming on, and he's replaced Julian Kopp. So it was Battleado who came off. Kopp still in the middle there. Costanzo again causing plenty of trouble down this right side, and gone away from the right side in the last couple of minutes. Or the left side, I should say, and opted to go down the right with the fresh legs of Busek. Costanzo given a couple minutes, breather possibly, but he's never out of the action really. Had a couple chances fall his way that just diffused there by the Wanderers defense. Beautiful flick on by Costanzo. Sometimes you just don't have words for stuff like that. Brain card process. How creative these players can be at times. Daniel's fouled by Darlow, and a free kick as Marconi's number 6 steps right up to it very confidently as well. Getting Haddad out of his path. Costanzo goes direct. Vidakovic rooted to the spot. Costanzo, a bit of disbelief there. Tried to catch the keeper off guard. And Vidakovic was almost certainly expecting the attackers to go onto it. Wasn't expecting a direct approach. Long ball again over the top. Just got to say that wind factor probably playing a part in that one as it goes and skims the top of the head of Costanzo. Been missing a few hairs after that. A little haircut for free. It's George Daniel and Edmund Haddad. Slight little altercation between the two. Off camera albeit. Costanzo wins it back brilliantly off the throw. First time ball from Yuli. Tries to get it through to Busek, but first to it, Vidakovic. But a throw in just over the halfway line for Daniel. Costanzo again with the flick. Doesn't work out this time, but keeps the Wanderers' defense under pressure. I think Marconi can kind of seize that the Wanderers have just fallen into a very defensive formation in the final 9 minutes here. Pushing just about everyone forward. Griffiths and Milanic, the only two back, but even they are very advanced, but no need to worry. Only man forward, Noah Peacock, and even he's putting some pressure defensively now. Costanzo gets past one, gets past two. Dom Costanzo. Shot blocked at the end, and that's a bitterly disappointing end for how creatively he got into that spot. And a brilliant run in the end there by Kanazovic. Comes to nothing as a throw for Marconi. It looks to be the skipper, Nathan Berry, down in back play. 8 minutes to go. Long ball to get us restarted, Bernie. First to it. Berry with the header and away for another throw for the Stallions. Busek, great turn to get past Nkomo. Try to get past that wall of Wanderers midfielders. Unsuccessful now, and a chance to go on the counter-attack. Unsuccessful. Peacock trying to play his partner Haddad through. Darlow does that now, though. Milanic first to it, though. Costanzo looks forward, has Popovic. Goes centrally. What a ball into Marko Jezic. Sensational stop by the skipper. Leading by example at the back. Nathan Barry. Stopping a certain 1-on-1 for Marko Jezic. And now the two attacking sparks looming over this corner. Concedes duties to Costanzo, or has he? They're playing mind games with the Wanderers defense. Quick little 1-2. Costanzo with time. First time cross into the middle. Popovic had his chance denied. And now an early ball forward. Good ball by Knezovic. Plenty of time with it now, Haddad. Try to Cruyff turn his way out of that Costanzo Daniel combination. Didn't work out well. Well, it was Yulia, it was, sorry. And Julian Kopp, midfielder, making the run on the outside. Long throw by Tilt, dealt with pretty quickly. Daniel, just see the ball, how much the wind is taking a part in this game now. Ball just stayed floating and floating. Five minutes of regulation to go here. You'd expect 3 or so minutes of injury time. Good ball in. Peacock had his pockets picked at the crucial moment by Griffiths. And a double deflection there off Haddad. Gives Marconi a goal kick, and they'll really look to force the issue here and get a goal to walk away from the Palace with 3 points. All 3 of their home games this season have ended in 1-1 draws, and their away form's been stellar. 4 from 4 so far, and pretty convincing wins in all 4 of them. Just haven't been able to get the monkey off the back at home yet, and as the minutes tick away, it's looking more and more likely that it's going to stay that way. Knezovic now. Take it down in the box. Will this be a penalty? Waved off for now. Bayless with acres of space to go forward. Out wide, Costanzo. Wanderers bench still appealing for a penalty, but not going to get it. Costanzo in the middle now. He appeals for one, but we'll get a corner. He'll be pretty happy with that, Dom Costanzo. Costanzo takes it from the spot. Goes direct again. It's in the back of the net. Took a deflection on the way. Costanzo will claim it. But the Marconi Stallions are 3 minutes away from a first home victory of the season. He's been causing them trouble all day, Dom Costanzo. And he finally cracks the defense. Looks like it took a pretty decent deflection off the head of Ricky Franson, but credit to the set piece work there. They had Vidakovic covered and they've gone direct all game, and it's finally paid off. The Marconi Stallions 1, Western Sydney Wanderers 0. Dom Costanzo will want to watch that one back on replay for sure, especially from where he took it from. And the Wanderers now suddenly staring down the barrel of a 6th straight defeat, both in this season and against Marconi. 6 games unbeaten, without a win against them, I should say. Tilt winning it back. Popovic in pursuit. Strong challenge by Yuli. Advantage played though. Knezovic out wide and Como. Back to the number 10. Try to play it through, and Bayless was there on clean-up duty. First time ball, try to pick out Popovic, but the skipper's there. Franson. Good first time header, trying to pick up Peacock, but Griffiths first to it. Try to play it out wide to Darlow and straight into the feet of Dom Costanzo. Probably the last person on the pitch they'd want to play it to. Costanzo stopped looking for the foul and gave up possession really easily there. Goes in, strong challenge, and Costanzo's going to be carded for that one. He was yellow carded last week, and he goes in the book again this week, Dom Costanzo. So Cop, with what very well could be the last real chance for the Wanderers to set something up. Looking for something out of the training paddock here, the Wanderers. Going for it first time, Haddad. Turned, got it onto his left foot, looked for the top corner, but it never troubled James Hilton in the end. Now we look towards the fourth official for 3 minutes of injury time. Hilton will take all the time he can here. The wind just holding it up again, and Costanzo heads it into tilt and will get his side a throw in. And you try to lob it over to Popovic, unsuccessful. And Franson kicks it straight out, and bit of a funny turn there for Milanic, who earlier in the game was pleading for the ball boys to get the ball, and now in a bit of injury time telling them to leave it and essentially not do their job. He's trying to get them fired. Milanic can't be doing that to the ball boys. Daniel forward to Popovic. This is exactly where they want the ball. In the corner, kicks it into the foot of Tilt, and another corner. Is Costanzo going to go for it? Might have the ref keeping a close eye on where he takes this one from. Quick tap to Jezic, and will they camp possession in here for the next minute and a half? Daniel overestimated the pace of that one, almost lost it. Milanic forward, perfect position for Jezic, joined by Costanzo. Goes down, Jezic, referee doesn't call the foul. Luckily for Marconi, the touch from Kopp was a little bit heavy. Pushing the back there from Haddad will give Marconi a free kick and possibly... Jezic still down. We've got just under 60 seconds of injury time to play, but this time will continue to be added on. Costanzo straight back into the corner, and not just holding it there as well, getting creative, Marconi. Keeping possession. And Jezic, one touch too many. It's all or nothing for Western Sydney here. Looked like it could have been a foul throw there, but play on. Nezovic. Ball won back by the combination of Griffiths and Yuli. Peacock at full pelt, going towards Hilton. Good ball out wide to Busek. And that'll do us at the Marconi Stadium. The Marconi Stallions get the monkey off their back. They get their first home win of the season. 1-0 win. Dom Costanzo's corner with 5 minutes to go separates the two sides. A valiant effort from Western Sydney, though. Should be really proud of their efforts. And went toe-to-toe with last season's champions and one of the only two sides left unbeaten in this competition. A full-time at the Marconi Stadium. Marconi Stallions 1, Western Sydney Wanderers 0. Thank you very much for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. If you so wish, tune over to the end of the St. George Derby. Should be a thriller there, and then 4 games of action tomorrow. So thank you very much again, and have a good night.
Our next fixture is at home again against St. George City on Saturday the 5th of April with the under-20 kicking off at 5 p.m. and first game at 7 p.m. A special thank you to all our great volunteers and board persons for their efforts. Don't forget to visit our website to see how you can support those experiencing homelessness in our community. Marconi Stallions FC, thank you for your community.